All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Onimonogatari, episode 4. All
Okay.
right. So we bumped into Gaen.
Indeed.
How do you do, fellow kids? The one that knows everything. Actually knows everything. Hence why she is here.
Yes.
And our crew is looking for a landline.
Yep. And they might also be able to get some pretty Gainful advice. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Hachikuji was amazing in the last episode.
Do you think you can even eat me?
Yeah. Yes. But now that they've had this incident happen and Shinobu has been taken, she is still alive though.
Right. So
yeah. This is a big deal.
We need to rescue Shinobu.
Yeah. But because of Araragi and Shinobu's connection, I'm really curious to see how this is going to affect the two of them.
Yeah. And how are they going to have it play into Shinobu's growth as a character this arc? Because we've had things set up with where she's been at previously in different situations and whatnot. But as for where she's at right now, Yeah.
So, this episode, y'all, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Wishful thinking words.
Okay.
Let us talk. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
She does indeed. Okay. So that's potential for another arc there.
Okay.
Okay.
So hence why I am here. Yes. Acting the hero. Ooh. Yeah, you haven't
Quite a
explained
bit.
anything. This is Gaen supposed to be giving the creeps kind of thing.
Well, she knows everything. So
Yeah. Oh. What was that? Oh. A third party. Okay.
Wait, did she just say she wondered why Yotsugi wasn't showing up?
Yeah. For a
Right.
job that she requested through a third party.
Yeah.
What?
Well, she also says she knows everything.
Oh. Huh. Maybe she has to actively investigate in order to have her clairvoyance work.
Right.
Otherwise, yeah, you're right. She wouldn't have to wonder if she actually knows everything.
Maybe she has access to knowing everything, but she doesn't in any particular moment necessarily know everything.
Right. She doesn't know what's going on 10,000 miles away from here on
she
some
might
mountain, you know.
Right, like if she was some crazy time traveler, whatever, something or other, then maybe she'd be able to know anything because she could figure it out because time is irrelevant, right?
Right. It might be more that she has some kind of, like she said, clairvoyance, so she can see throughout time in a way that's
something
more specifically relevant to certain characters or certain points of view.
Interesting.
but you know the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it can't get worse now.
Yeah.
Then share the blessing, you know.
Okay.
Hmm. 3 wishes. Yeah. It's such a weird environment they're in.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Who dat? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's right. We haven't gotten a second arc with Kanbaru yet. Okay.
Huh.
And what's the third? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, then this other job is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's 2 parts of it then. Yeah. So what do you? Yeah. Let's do this.
Okay.
Crap. Cannot. And what makes this better? Well, that's good, but what is Shinobu doing then? Or what is she in danger of in the future?
Oh. Is the target Araragi?
She was, okay.
Hachikuji? Really? In her sleep, she raises her hand. Like,
yeah.
Hachikuji really is butting in on Shinobu's arc.
Yeah, Araragi I think
Okay.
would make a little bit of sense too, but yeah, why? Uh-huh. Right. Oh, there's a logic to it.
Gotcha.
It's a corrector of
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
Hence Araragi, Shinobu, and Hachikuji.
Mm-hmm. Because she wasn't being like a vampire.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sure.
Oh, this is interesting because then it gets into the the perspectives of those around. Judgment.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh. Oh. Geez, for now.
What?
Oh.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Because she doesn't want to leave.
Of such a meta structure. Mm-hmm. The inexperienced Meme. Wow.
But she lingers, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Wow. And because of that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Well, I mean,
Ah.
she kind of was.
Yeah. Jeez.
Oh. But now it's going to be coming after you.
Yeah. Oh. Whoa.
Okay. Cool.
You would know where you were, and then... Oh, so is she gonna have to leave and just wander lost alone?
No.
Like, no.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta say, Hachikuji's voice acting is on point here.
Yeah. You appease it.
Unless you want to go Gurren Lagann. Hell no.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Wow.
Oh, this music's so soft. God, this feels like an eternity ago. It's kind of like extra innings.
But
Wait, did she kind of know? Is that why she kept kind of bumping into him but then leaving really quickly? Or
maybe, I mean,
no, there's
like
no
they
way.
had been building up to this
They
for
had
a while.
been building up to this, yeah, but she's trying to crack little
Yeah.
jokes and stuff in this time. Come on, Hachikuji. Yeah. Oh. Oh, wow. She's doing everything she can to make this better. It's the Hachikuji way to do that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah. Way to go, Hachikuji. Oh, you can't choose everyone. Wow. Ah, this is so good. The voice acting now. But I don't want to be. Yeah. Oh. In this story.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. Oh, we didn't even have the actual, like, final moments with her in this episode, though.
Yeah. I gotta say, though, a bit of Yatsuki holding her up on her shoulders, that helped.
Yotsuki's like, this is the reason why I was staying here, is because I predicted based on...
I have determined that, the height from my shoulders plus... Yeah.
Makes the perfect height for Hachikuji while sitting on my shoulders, yeah. The idea of lies being something that if someone perceives something that is not of your nature and you do nothing to correct them, you're living a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
it's true.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What do we got here? 4 months later. Whoa.
Wait. Oh, yeah, this
Whoa.
conversation with Ougi.
Whoa. What was that?
Guess we'll find out. Wait. Is Ougi the... Wait.
Oh, buddy. Oh. What is going on?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Jeez. Huh. Huh. Yeah. Huh. Koi Monogatari.
Okay.
Hitagi end. Well, we'll miss you, Hachikuji.
Yeah.
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 It's kind of crazy to think about because of the way the plot of Monogatari goes, you know, from
Mhm.
an overarching standpoint, in that you kind of don't really expect there to be any hard ending point unless it has something to do with regards
Right.
to Araragi's life progressing with regards to like high
High
school
school,
and,
yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like that.
uh-huh.
But because it keeps jumping back and forth in time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the idea that, you know, all this buildup has been coming for a while, that
Yep.
Hachikuji eventually
Will disappear.
will disappear. And this was it. Was some unstoppable cosmic
hole.
force of darkness just coming in and consuming that which is an aberration, something that is a lie of existence, or of some kind. But then they went into the psychological kind of character dynamic of what actually those types of lies look like.
Yeah.
It's basically like an example of it would be like whenever Hanakawa, lied about her, about kind of her own identity and stuff like that.
Right, but in this case, specifically with aberrations.
But the thing that still kind of freaks me out about this in a lot of ways is it feels like this is a kind of thing where it has to be very specific with regards to aberrations, because almost all the characters in this story are attached to or were attached to some kind of aberrations and were lying about it in a lot of ways. Or actively engaging in a lie. But the thing is, I guess there's some aspect of this that Hachikuji's was something that was going on for such a long time.
Yeah, it was a lot more fundamental. Like, because in the case of say Shinobu, when she was, pretending to be a god, one of the things that is kind of a question, even though we don't really know necessarily how long it lasts.
Right.
It lasted, or maybe we did. Maybe she said it was like a year or something. But, is how did she survive?
Right.
Right. Because she should have died. Or at least that would have been something that would be an impending threat, right?
Yeah.
You need to eat to live, and vampires eat people and drink blood and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, she probably gets some sustenance off of donuts, so like...
Yeah, maybe, right. But
maybe there is actually a part of human food that would have given her some sustenance.
Well, now we have her, she's being sustained off of Araragi, right?
Right, yes.
But back then, there was that, and then the thing shows up, right? Here... Yeah. Hachikuji, she's a ghost. Yeah. She's supposed to do her thing as a ghost or move on.
Yeah.
She had reached the point where and that's great because from a meta perspective, we had talked about it and we were like, well, with Hachikuji, what will they do for her character arc? Because she doesn't seem to have any personal growth that she needs to go on.
She's in some ways finished it.
Right, she's finished it.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Yeah,
she's finished it. So she shouldn't be here anymore, right? Yeah. She's done all the things that she needed to do to pass on, and yet she hasn't.
Yeah, there was this really cool line that they talked about with Gaen that was something that was rather, in some ways, chilling. It was talking about how... I'm trying to remember which part it was exactly, but basically when he was talking about you say the Shinobu didn't call herself a god, but it was just that the people around her mistook her for a god, right? But still, not trying to undo misunderstandings is the same as telling a lie. If you become a god, no one can blame you for that, but lies are no good. It was not good. It wasn't that she became a god, but that she fooled others by pretending to be one. So I don't know if that was actually the line there, but basically she's explaining how that all applied there.
And then she leapt away to Antarctica and behaved as a vampire, which explains then why the specific terminology was used of became a vampire again.
Right. But what's really impactful here is that whole act of deception, then we see it as being a kind of thing where you willfully avoid telling the truth to perpetuate the lie of a false existence.
Yeah.
Which then Gaen, I would say, accurately determines to be a form of self-deception.
Right.
Which feels very thematic with regards to Monogatari as a whole, because a lot of the story...
Yeah.
In fact, most of the characters' stories has been one about where they have some aspect of how they see themselves or their own internal problems cause them to fall into, I would say, a pattern of self-deception.
Right. And then
either by being a fake or by, holding on to something that they need to let go of, or, and then getting out of balance with emotions or what have you.
Right. And then the cathartic moment tends to come from accepting, whatever part of it was that they didn't accept about themselves.
Basically like aligning themselves with the truth, essentially.
Whether in the case of, say, Shinobu, it was, I want to die,
Mhm.
right? And accepting that and still moving on. Or in the case of Senjigahara, accepting I was almost raped and I hold a lot of, like my relationship with my mother, how do I feel about her? All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Accepting that weight.
Yeah.
And Hachikuji accepting that she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now she needs to do what dead people do, which is go away.
It feels so...
Yeah,
it feels so painful because while Gaen says that this whole thing is not... it's not... what was it? That it's not that it's unfair or unjust. That was the thing. Isn't unjust, nor is it absurd, which means that there's a methodology to it. And yet what I find to be so painful here is that while, yes, maybe Hachikuji's was the most fundamental of the lies, every character in this story, maybe every's a bit strong, but a lot of the characters in this story are actively engaging in some form of self-deception.
Right.
And while it might not be a thing of in this exact period of time, if this is some eternal presence of darkness consuming all of the aberrations that stray off of the path of being an aberration, you could say that maybe this is how much Araragi has been influential in the story by helping them come to their own conclusions so that they wouldn't have ended up getting consumed by something like this.
Yeah.
But a lot of the characters end up like Hanakawa. Well, now that's actually a good point. Hanakawa's stuff is literally like either happening in parallel to this with Tsubasa Tiger, or it's still about to happen.
Oh yeah, and we still don't have the reason why Araragi shows up at the end of Shiro with tattered clothes and everything. Do
that's
we?
probably because there's a job that she needed. That Gaen needed help with him, and at least Kambaru. And I'm guessing then Shinobu ends up getting helped out through that whole situation, so that they end up together when they come back.
And yet the next arc is Hitagi End.
But that doesn't necessarily mean
that doesn't have
the
to be
chronological
right?
order,
Definitely.
I would say if anything, it's definitely going to jump back a little bit because there's a couple things with Senjigahara that have some. Have some potential gaps in there.
It almost feels like
it's been a while since we've seen her. Basically, that too.
It almost feels like this arc and the resolution to the conflict for this arc is like a personification or a manifestation of the trope of the reaching for the star. Reaching for the sun, right?
Sure.
Where because this, in a lot of ways, this is Araragi's last year of high school, right? This is the story of him growing up in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
And dealing with all the struggles and conflicts and stuff that he has personally for himself and the people around him. And this is something where it was living in defiance of the order of things, right? Hachikuji was staying here even though she wasn't supposed to be here, right? And this is the kind of thing that in a lot of ways everyone is doing, because everyone is growing up, right? In some way, shape, or form. And then, of course, the thing is that this isn't Gurren Lagann, right? Where you can go challenge the anti-spirals and punch the non-existence until it shatters, right?
Yeah.
There's this notion that you're going to realize that your arm isn't long enough.
Yeah.
That the stars are out of your reach.
Yeah.
And you need to accept that. And that's tough because growing up is so often it's that combined with at the same time challenging the old, so you can try and figure out exactly where your place is, right?
Sure.
But
I can't help myself dreaming the same dream.
Yeah, and
now what's great about this is that I love from the character standpoint that the two of them end up being really honest by the end of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Hachikuji and Araragi are both being kind of selfish in a way that makes perfect sense. Hachikuji wants this to be done quickly so that she doesn't have all of those feelings and stuff dredged up there because it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And Araragi is like, no, you can't let go because it's going to hurt. And so they both go through this back and forth banter, which is literally like why Hachikuji is so freaking amazing, is that the conversations we have with her are some of the best ones. And
her seiyuu was on fire.
It's so good.
Like,
yeah, and then we have these really honest moments with Araragi where he's all like, why do you act like all this is normal? It's true that it might have looked like what I've been doing, but not once have I been completely fine with it. I've always been on the verge of tears. No, I've always fought while crying. And how can you just look like you have no worries or dissatisfaction? Basically, like, come on, at least meet me in this here.
Yeah.
Now, let's go actually do a bit before this here. Let me see. Anyway, wasn't the world rather nice to us throughout all this? Normally they wouldn't wait for months on end for an existence as nonsensical as the ghost of a ghost. But taking all the responsibility on yourself alone, Hachikuji, because of saving everyone else. And she's like, what are you talking about, Araragi-san? That's something that you've been doing up for me all this time. It's okay for you to do it, but you won't let others? That reasoning doesn't make any sense. And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, of course that's the kind of reasoning he's going to use. Look at this guy's story the last few months.
Yep.
Like, oh.
Right, which is why it makes it so perfect for this to be Araragi's story.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's, in a lot of ways, it's the perpetual realization of him, of his own limitations and things like that over the course of time with all these different characters and all their different struggles.
So then they're constantly trying to make this okay for the other person, and then
joking around and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Araragi's like, yes, I have an easy solution. I'll just stay lost with you forever. What I love about this is that he's ignoring her as she's like, hey.
Don't make this harder for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's just ignoring her. He's not taking what she wants into account.
Yep.
And he's also not thinking about others here.
Right.
You're going to spend 20 years just with me. What are you going to do with Senjugahara?
Right. And this is
your little sisters. What?
And this is the moment where Araragi's like starting to realize, oh, my arm isn't long enough.
I can't choose everyone.
Right.
Thinking about it won't do any good. You can't choose everyone. Now, there are all these sweet moments in here, where, Hachikuji's like, don't worry, I promise to return someday if you find yourself in a bind. I'll break the rules. I'll do what I'll
break the rules a little bit more.
Yeah, to cause come help you if I can. But
yeah. Well, oh man. Now I'm thinking about her catchphrase. I stuttered. So, what is a stutter? It's an interruption. Yeah. It's dwelling on something longer than you should, right? Yeah. When you should move on to what's next.
Yeah.
So if she ever does...
Yeah, I don't want Hachikuji to be just a stutter, just a little
right,
stutter.
Because she wasn't a stutter to us. Right, exactly.
So much more.
And and then the whole thing of when she kisses Araragi and she says, I stuttered, right? You made me stutter.
Yeah.
You made me hang around a little bit longer. But I'll bet if she ever does come back and for like a little bit, she's gonna come back and say, yeah, I stuttered.
Yeah. Then her little fourth wall breaks. We haven't done it once this story arc. We're gonna do our whole routine and everything. And of course they were all on purpose.
The way that when that shot where they show her walking but kind of from behind with the backpack and everything.
Yeah.
Like
and then we have this sweet moment where it's like, oh, she's kissing him. And then freaking Yotsugi is like, I am the perfect wingman. I will be here to help. I will make the height difference possible. And it's like, just, barely holding up, The character animation's amazing there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then
yeah, crying as she said it. Sorry, I stuttered. Yeah.
It's like okay. We had everything with the time travel stuff, right?
Yep.
And we were like, no, Hachikuji, no.
Yeah.
And then the show's like, haha.
Yep.
But wait.
Right. Yeah, switcheroo. We're having Shinobu's arc there and Hachikuji's arc
So you can
here.
actually lose Hachikuji. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I swear if they do time travel again after this to try and like...
Yeah, be like, hey, but we can refix it. We'll give a note to my future self or whatever, so that way Shinobu doesn't destroy the world, and then, boom, there you go.
Yeah.
And the fact that they brought back, oh my god, like they had been building up that Hachikuji was going to disappear for so long, even with the Ougi conversation, right?
Yeah.
That they did at the beginning of Kabuki, and it's like, oh yeah, Kabuki, right? Okay, cool. Oh no, Hachikuji's going to disappear. Oh, but she didn't disappear. Wait a minute. And then we just sort of forget about that, right?
Yeah,
we don't think about it too much.
I kind of want to actually
go back to...
I want to go back to
Kabuki and look exactly at what they say.
Uh-huh. Because this conversation, this moment where every traffic light in the intersection turns red. This is where we get introduced to Ougi. Yeah.
Right.
Much more frequently, daily basis. I don't recall seeing anything like that. Make sure it happens all the time, so there won't be traffic accidents all over. It's a very simple story when you look behind the scene. After vertical signals turn red and until horizontal, every signal always has a stutter. Every signal has a stutter, Jacob.
Oh my god.
That's not a moment. No one takes 3 seconds to blink. Only for faults in my logic. Your personality really is the worst. So then, in other words, everything comes to a halt. You call it the blank 3 seconds of an intersection. If I designed it, I built a system that couldn't do that historically. Everyone prefers safe over dangerous. Oh.
If I designed it.
So is Ougi
the personification of the anti-existence?
The anti-existence, basically.
I think so.
That darkness here.
Well, because there's this, but then the conversation that she has with Araragi at the end of this episode,
which then ties into the whole thing of so what happened? Well, there's nothing really. Things about there was some other way to go about it. Well, you were just barely safe. It was the most sensible choice, going to the afterlife rather than being swallowed up by the darkness. You went to the safe way.
Right. Well, and there was a part of me. Now, I'm probably completely misreading
which part
it.
Here?
When she says going to the afterlife rather than being swallowed up by the darkness, there's a part of me that at first thought, wait a minute, at some point Araragi's going to go to the afterlife to see Hachikuji or something. No, but probably not. I mean, if that does end up happening, cool, but probably not. But then
I have a bit of work to do, so excuse me. It's ordinary work. Figuratively, it's very complex god, like the overwhelming darkness that takes up most of the universe. Correct the mistaken, end what needs to be ended. If I describe it, I'd say it's a job that punishes the liars. You'll know in due time, please rest assured that I might just up ending asking for your powers to aid me someday.
Yeah.
Which is like
that.
That's just talking about the same kind of consuming darkness thing that.
But if that is
whole thing
okay,
here.
so
I'm gonna finish the.
Oh, okay,
yes, totally. But Lynn, it's filled with green lights and cities. This place more dangerous than anything. Like how tough it tastes awful. For someone so unintelligent, you quickly understand. Most people go watching over them when they cross on green. In reality, it's not the case at all. It's merely like the risk is cut in half. Now this is. I'm reminded of that trivia alongside memories of Hachikuji.
Yeah.
Wow. Words along with a lost young girl. In the instant she crossed on green, she was run over. It was the girl who died over 10 years ago. This summer is epic. Okay.
Wow, yeah. And the moment she crossed on Gaen, the moment she broke the rules.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what was the thing you were going to say?
So, I'm going to get a little weird here.
Cool. Let's do it.
What if
Ougi
was the manifestation of the void, darkness, anti-whatever?
Right, yeah.
And this was her way of cleaning up Araragi.
Yeah,
where
I like it.
Where it's basically getting him to the point where he has some semblance of acceptance or others, some such, right? Because there's an imbalance within him. There's the part of him that's going against the rules of things, the nature of things, the whatever. And that by the end of this show, potentially, all supernatural aspects in Monogatari will be wrapped up and removed.
So here's where I like that. The best thing about that, I would say, is that a lot of the supernatural stuff in general can be interpreted to be a little bit more regarding the...
Right. Not all the supernatural stuff has to exist tangibly.
Well,
right?
no, I'm saying you can just literally take all of it and make it be an aspect of the psychological elements within the story.
Right, which is from a meta perspective the whole point of the story.
Well, right, but if this is literally the Araragi story, while there are other characters that definitely have their stories in here, if Araragi is the main character with his story being the main story of his journey being the main journey here, having all the things that cause the psychological problems, the aberrations, if you will, having them be resolved and removed by the end of the story, aka then him
fully having grown up, accepted all the different things that are there, and the growth having happened.
Right, but then saying goodbye to a lot of those people who, were there as maybe specific, steps in his growth. That's where I like it. I would say that it would make some sense to have a good chunk of them be something that resides with him.
Yeah, right. Like I'm not saying that all the characters have to disappear a la Hachikuji, right? Hachikuji's a more extreme example.
Yes,
but
yes, definitely.
The idea that basically the end, having that as some kind of definitive ending for Araragi's youth, right? He has now grown up. He's graduated from high school.
Just going to be when he graduates from high school.
Oh yeah, definitely, right. Yeah. But if it coincides with that, right?
Yeah.
Where and all the aberrations or whatever are getting consumed or out of the world or something, that doesn't necessarily have to happen. But it's me thinking along the lines that basically Ougi, what was it? I can't remember. Maybe it was like an episode of Supernatural or something like that, where there was a Grim Reaper that was talking to someone as like a nurse or something that was in a hospital, and it was that they needed to die, but they needed to accept that they were going to die or something like that. And in a lot of ways, growing up is a death, right?
Yeah,
it's the death of the child, it's the death of the old, and it's the acceptance and the birth of something new, right? So that and the conversations that Ougi has with Araragi feel very much like that.
The conversations with Ougi and Araragi freak me the hell out because a lot of them I feel like they're just puzzle pieces. And I'm slowly starting to connect the dots, but I still don't I still don't fully get it. Because the last thing I would want to have with my kind of experience with the show really is to go through the main character's experience of this whole thing and not really get the flow of their journey, whereas I'm maybe understanding the flow of all the other characters' journeys because they get that individual hyper focus condensed into the couple episodes.
Right, whereas Araragi is much more of a slow burn.
Right, but it is definitely the most important story.
Yeah, for sure, hands down.
Character-wise of all of them there.
Right, and that's why he's the main character and present throughout all the other mini-stories.
Right, and
Most of them.
Most of
them. Yeah.
Most of them. But specifically with what they've been doing with Ougi, every time she shows up, there are these moments where I'm just like, okay, what is this?
The one other time I think that we've actually seen Ougi was in was when Sengoku had her arc, right? And she was talking to Sengoku. In a lot of ways, she set everything in motion.
Yes.
So...
Now, that was way later.
Yeah, that was...
time.
Right. Yes. In terms of time. Yeah, on the timeline, it's way later in Nadeko Medusa. But because that's something where then from there she became a god, which seemed, seems to at the very least touch on the whole idea of what Gaen was talking about of if you pretend to be a god and you become a god, well, then who can blame you, right? Which apparently is what happened with her. Yeah. But it also seems, but if she's the final boss, right, for Araragi, then maybe that's something, given that Ougi put this into play, maybe that is more potential, circumstantial evidence to the idea that Ougi is playing that kind of game with Araragi in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. Because again, that's weird theory territory, but
yeah. But yeah.
Yep.
I guess Monogatari's had its first kind of character death.
Well, had its first character death a long time ago, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean,
yep.
That could have been the last we actually see of Hachikuji.
It could be.
It probably won't be. Because, literally Hachikuji said, if it comes down to a bind, I can show up.
Right, like they could have Araragi and Senjigahara and Shinobu and and Hanakawa all going to face Sengoku, and it's real bad, and then Hachikuji shows up, right? And I don't know, does something.
I really like how a character that one, I would say, was probably the most static as a character after her arc, the snail arc was finished. Most of the other characters had a lot of unresolved stuff.
Yes.
After their Bake arcs, basically.
Yep.
Almost intentionally so. It was a huge point of how all of them had slapped on band-aids essentially for their specific problems.
Right.
Hitagi, Senjigahara went through a lot and actually did get some meaningful progress. Hanakawa's was probably the most band-aid equivalent of ones. And Sengoku's also was very band-aid equivalent there.
And then Kanbaru still has the arm, which they brought up
hers
here.
is more of a lasting wound, a specific thing that bears a mark, a scar. And yet, all the stuff with Shinobu, for instance, in the pre-Bake stuff, that also was something where there was some big progress made, but that was more the foundation where, again, a lot of the stuff with their character conflict had just begun, really.
Right.
So when freaking Hachikuji has her little, bit of just needing to be helped and guided a little bit and have someone to talk with, and it's time because she's so alone. And then Araragi's there and ends up helping her, and they have these, wonderful moments. Every time after that, it feels like Hachikuji was
on borrowed time.
Yeah, but on borrowed time. But the more and more I think about it, the more and more I feel like she knew. She knew she knew something like this was coming. She didn't know what. She didn't have any Gaen. I knew what I know everything, and I knew that this this thing was coming. But but you could almost tell in that she was I'm gonna try and keep doing my thing, and I have to know if there's more other ways we could have gone back and noticed little things like this, because
sure there are.
Because it felt like she always left right at about that point where she had kind of helped give Araragi a little push in a specific area, and then had their little banter fun as well. Right. And once that had been done, they just parted ways. Yeah.
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 One other thing I'm kind of curious about, given the way this happened, I guess, and the stuff that they did with Araragi needing to come to accept Hachikuji's death and everything.
Okay.
And the idea of that going hand in hand with growing up and whatnot. This is actually making me really curious about some of the other arcs that they've done with the characters.
Oh, okay.
In particular, Hanakawa.
Okay.
Because Hanakawa's arc, or Shiro, was the first arc of season 2. Season 2, right?
Right. Yeah.
We haven't seen her since.
In terms of the watch order we've done?
Well, yeah. Well, just in these arcs, she has not been present. I don't think we have seen her one time.
We saw her as a kid in Kabuki.
Right.
That was
it. Right. But we haven't seen post Shiro Hanakawa since.
Yep.
The next arc is apparently a Senjugahara arc. Awesome.
Yes, right.
And given that there's a job that Araragi has to do with Gaen immediately after this that also fits in before Shiro, then that means that if we were to see Hanakawa, there's a good chance that we could see Hanakawa in this next arc because it's going to be out of the chronological order of things.
Probably, yeah.
But barring that, that seems like, again, we're going to be getting a situation where there's going to be an arc with Kanbaru that is not going to involve Hanakawa, right? Where she's not going to be a part of it. Almost as if, like, and granted, I think Monogatari has a general 3-act structure as a whole, right, for the whole series. So we'll probably see Hanakawa later, but I feel like the fact that we got a definitive end to Hachikuji here, and we kind of have gotten an end to Hanakawa so far.
Yes, she seems to have had her resolution for her character struggle in the Tsubasa Tiger stuff.
Right.
Yes.
Like, and I think, now that I think about it, I think we did see a little bit of Hanakawa at the very end of the Nadeko Medusa, when in the flash forward to the very end of high school, right? But the idea that, like, she's kind of gone now. And is that something that's going to follow for the other characters?
Oh, okay. So this was
because
something...
Nadeko's also gone, right? Yeah. She's gone until the very end, I'm guessing.
I feel like this was a theory, a thing that I had forever ago.
Okay.
Forever ago with regards to Monogatari, when I was going really hard on the idea that Araragi was projecting out his own issues into the environment and needed them solved in the form of basically kind of cute girls that helped him kind of with his own internal struggles and stuff. But because these characters are so colorful, so wonderful and everything like that, I'm just enraptured in the story aspect of it. And no, they're not projections or anything like that. But
it could be a representation.
But they could represent still that stuff there. And even if they're not have anything to do with that, the fact that he ends up going on a little bit of a journey in a similar vein when he is in their stories.
Right.
And then he has lines like this, where it feels like everyone just leaves me here and disappears.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. We had in that little bit earlier here, this is a line with Hachikuji, spitting wisdom, being just the best, saying, where is it here? That's taking all the responsibility on yourself alone, Hachikuji. And she's like, what are you talking about, Araragi-san? That's something you've been doing for me all this time. It's okay for you to do it, but you won't let others? That reasoning doesn't make any sense. Meaning that, you know, it's okay for you to, you know, save everyone and help people and all that, but you won't let anyone else do it? Meaning that in a lot of ways, maybe, I feel like I'm being left behind, when he's literally got Shinobu right there and she's like, hey, you, like, I didn't leave you, like, I'm right here.
Yeah.
He's feeling left alone, I would say, because, maybe he's not getting saved. Maybe he's not actually getting his problem solved.
Sure. And
that just makes sense, given he's the one that's got his hero complex going out there to save everyone else.
Well, and also, given the fact that the show started with him having no friends, right?
Yes.
Like chronologically, right?
He
if you go to the beginning of
technically
Kizu,
with Hanakawa.
well, right, but if you go to the beginning of
Bake.
Kizu, right, with the chronological beginning of the story, right?
Yes.
Araragi had no friends.
Yes.
Araragi was alone. Araragi was depressed. All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he faced that in Kizu. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to do something, if Nisio Isin wanted to do something where the thing that was established at the very beginning is brought back
important
towards the very end, right?
It's established at the beginning, meaning it's the most important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that definitely is something that goes like coming full circle definitely goes hand in hand with coming of age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the going back to the same place and then realizing how you're different.
Yep.
Right?
And in some ways, this is the best part about it. Araragi, as we well know, you are the only one that can solve that problem.
Right, exactly.
So, therefore, in a lot of ways, you may be helping all these girls with that very good-natured part of you and doing this, expecting nothing in return, but feeling left alone and at the end of these moments and stuff, especially after one of them basically just left you like this. Yeah, maybe it'd be good to every once in a while let your desires be known and how you could want them to help you. Because, generally speaking, we give the thing that we want to get the most.
Yes.
Just saying.
Well, and given... Okay. I'm going to go half meta, half not meta here.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Given that we're bringing this back up here, right? And given that the story did not actually start with Araragi being alone, right? Because Bake...
Right.
came out first, and Kizu was later, even though Kizu was chronologically first.
Right.
The whole idea of him feeling alone, right, and everyone leaving him and all that stuff. We then get immediately Shinobu being like, "Hey, you," right? Like basically her.
Baka,
right, exactly. Her reminding him,
"Yeah, you're not alone."
Yeah, you're not alone. I'm still here, right? Who's the other person that is never going to leave Araragi?
Yeah.
Senjigahara.
Yeah.
Right? And her arc is next.
Yep.
And the fact that they're
it's
jumping...
called Hitagi End.
And then also the fact that here, in this arc, they jump 4 months forward. Right? Why is it 4 months forward that Araragi is dealing with ramifications of Hachikuji having left when Hachikuji left presumptuously in this episode, right? In that chronological slice of time, right? They didn't show it, but after that she was just gone.
Now, what I find rather interesting here is that according to this handy dandy timeline we got here, 4 months is after Nadeko Medusa. At least the beginning of it.
Oh,
there. Yeah.
Yeah, Nadeko Medusa didn't last long. So, yeah.
Now, wasn't there some time in between Nadeko Medusa and when they actually decide to then...
Well, here's another thing
skip
to think
ahead
about.
to actually come back and...
4 months later would put it at... Because if...
The end of the year.
Yeah, the end of the year, and also
December.
right around Christmas. Yeah.
That is a good point, yeah.
So, okay, oh man. If we get a Christmas episode with Senjigahara in this next arc, I am going to die. I'm going to die of happiness. But
that would be amazing.
That would be so amazing. But this is something where, it's coming towards the end of the year, right? So coming full circle, right? Araragi at the end of the year dealing with some of the things that he had to deal with at the beginning of the year. Right?
Yeah.
So, and even though this isn't like the very end of the year, right?
Right.
Because their spring break isn't that long. But it's still something that I think is, worth bringing up, because that means that this trend of him being left behind will continue for these next chronological 4 months in order for them to be showing it here, not in that episode right after Hachikuji leaves.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then, of course, we go back to the point where they're at the spiral staircase where he bumped into Oshino Ougi.
And also where he met Senjigahara, where the show literally started.
And he's like, let's at least try to pretend as if Hachikuji's still around here in this town. He's like, isn't that regretful attachment? If you keep telling lies like that, you'll get swallowed up by the darkness. Now, what I kind of find rather interesting here is that Araragi then kind of hears that, gives a little smile, thinking like, no, I don't think I will, you know, kind of Captain America style. Like,
Yeah.
no, I don't think I will.
Yeah.
But why is he saying that?
Well, Shinobu said the thing of swallowed up by the darkness.
Yes, but then he says that won't happen.
Yeah. Yep.
Meaning, no, I don't think I will. Meaning,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
I know
Right.
I won't.
Because what Shinobu seems to be pointing out here is that, hey, you're not accepting that your friend is gone.
Mhm.
That could cause you to get swallowed up by the darkness, which could be the literal darkness, but it could also mean that's not good for you as a person,
Yes.
right?
Yes, of
You know,
course.
right.
Yeah.
So, but you know, then he smiles and says, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
right?
and then he says, like, you know, I never use those words in regards to my farewell to Hachikuji, and I'm pretty
Right.
dumb to realize that. I was happy to able to meet you. Goodbye, Hachikuji. And then we literally have the part with the crossing of the street with the, you know, the 3-second stutter delay in between the
Oh, yeah.
the realization of him,
Yep.
you know, saying goodbye.
Right, which is him accepting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Oh, boy.
yeah. But that's cool because I love it. It's like a blink and you'll miss it, and that's the story of what
Right.
just happened there. And he says, Sayonara Hachikuji, I was happy to be able to meet you. Now,
Yep.
I have to know, what is the connection they were making there between Oshino Ougi and the darkness? Like, what is that?
Well, they made a connection.
They made a connection.
They made a connection. How literal they want to take it, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know.
I am
Who knows?
freaking out because now I'm like, okay, now they're just telling me to my face, like,
Right, exactly.
here's something really important, and I'm like, well, I see that it's important.
Yeah. Well, and what's the
I don't have the code key to break into
Right.
why it's important.
Well, and what's the point of her being 15 specifically, right? Because that like the fact that they keep saying that she's 15 makes me think that it's something.
Keep saying?
Or no, keep saying no, because we just went back and checked.
We
that
just went
episode
back
where
and
she was
checked on the
introduced, right,
beginning.
in Kabuki, yeah. But the idea of like, no, she is an actual person, right?
Yeah.
But she doesn't have hands. Her eyes are all weird and
see,
stuff. And like,
see, every time they go into things like calling her Oshino Ougi, the fact that there's this weird aspect of the
I wonder if
kind
Ougi
of-
means anything.
well I
Like,
there's the fact that it's tied to Oshino, you know.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's this feeling that it's like it's just this it's supposed to rub you the wrong way. It's supposed to rub you with this kind of feeling of
definitely.
like, oh
Yeah.
like every other character that gets introduced, you know, like Yotsugi, for instance, you know, and Yotsuru and them, they end up kind of having their little bit of background time, but they have characters that they're specifically tied with, that they you know talk to, or that they kind of engage with, but then have moments of when, you know, they actually are like doing a thing. And Oshino Ougi, just in this one now, finally talks about what she wants or what she does. And it's like, oh, yeah, I just do simple work, like dealing with the
lies of, you know,
what's the work you have to do? Figuratively speaking, it's a very commonplace job, like the overwhelming darkness that takes up most of the universe. Correct the mistake and ends what needs to be ended. If I describe it, say it's a job that punishes the liars. And Araragi doesn't even get phased by this.
Yeah.
Araragi doesn't even bat an eye.
Yeah.
You'll know in due time, so please rest assured.
Right, you'll know in due
Winking
time.
to the camera, you know, fourth
Sure.
wall breaking.
Sure, but
there.
also you'll know in due time, as if Araragi wouldn't know from what's happened already, but he will later.
Well, here's the thing. I kind of get the vibe of.
Yeah.
I get the vibe that Araragi kind of knows.
Oh,
And
sure.
he's not certain, but she's giving us and the audience the thing of like, oh, you're going to know. You're going to be certain soon.
But
and
she would know that he would know, right?
But here's the thing. You have this being used as like just obvious foreshadowing, and the whole thing of I might just end up asking for your powers to aid me someday, Araragi senpai. But what I get freaked out, I would say the majority of this character here is that there's this aspect of where you have characters like Gaen, and it's just she knows everything, but she's kind of played up as this kind of creepo weirdo, like adult kind of Yes, how do you do, fellow kids? That joke
they
just
definitely upped the creep in this episode a lot with
for
Gaen.
Gaen, yes, and I think that is,
and it was intentional on her part.
Yeah, and I think that is something that was intentional, but
right, not just from the standpoint of how the show was made, but Gaen herself was intentionally doing that.
Yes, right. But with Ougi, there's this prescience, there's this knowing.
Yeah,
I almost want to say they have, actually, with regards to Oshino Ougi.
Right. I mean, they've specifically said Oshino's niece, but yeah.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
Okay, her whole thing though of I might ask for your help someday with your vampire powers or whatever to do what I need to do. What is literally the one thing that Araragi could use his vampire powers for, as far as correcting liars?
Killing them?
No, but more specific than that. Kill Shinobu. No, because then... because then he'd go back to being a human, yeah.
I guess?
I hope
but
it doesn't go there. Because I don't know, as far as Araragi as a character, he would never do that, right?
But there's literally, there could be, any number of, other things that it could be.
Maybe, but, for Araragi specifically, with his, half-baked vampire powers and whatnot, I don't know.
Why does Gaen need his help with the Kambaru stuff?
That's true.
It's because his powers are just generally useful.
Sure. Or again, it's something about making him dance in a particular way for some other means.
Sure. Also, there's another thing here. Given that this is the actual latest point in the story that we have, other than the eventual encounter with Sengoku
at the end, yeah.
I love this little thing of was blabbing off to her part of your war plan, and he's like, I'm telling Ougi-chan to see how it affects things.
Right.
As if he also has some kind of prescience.
And
he's like,
right,
I'm tipping this domino to see how it... But what? You can go back and change this choice?
Or is it something where he's trying to somehow prep some pieces for his eventual battle with Sengoku or something? He's like, you are the Oblivion thing, so now I'm going to try and manipulate you by telling you certain things so that you... I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the whole thing of... blabbing after part of the war plan, you should come up with it. No clue until there's some sort of result from it. Okay. I feel like it just keeps building and stuff like that. We're still yeah. Anyway, I think I'm beating my head against
we've spun our wheels as much as they can spin on this, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm emotionally drained by the idea that Hachikuji won't be in the story anymore. But
and they blindsided us with it.
I think
they didn't because they were building up to it and everything, but
I think it was something where you know we started to clue in when Hachikuji started to steal the scene.
From a meta perspective, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, Hachikuji's...
And I bet by wearing the Shinobu shirt, I was like, but that was just for a little bit. That's her nod. And then it's going to revert back to Shinobu. No, apparently not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was literally the last time we saw Shinobu in this arc back then, when she just disappeared into Araragi's shadow, right?
I love how much they can make us get attached to these characters, given that we don't actually see them in a consistent manner.
Oh, yeah.
Hachikuji is definitely the piggyback character with regards to jumping into other arcs and stuff.
No, definitely.
But
I would say the queen of that, though, is the one we're going to be focusing on next arc, Senjigahara, because since from Araragi's perspective, that's personal stuff, how they interact, like the whole thing of Gaen calling him Koyomin, and he's like, what, are you Senjigahara when we're alone together, right? That's something that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've never seen that, right?
We've never heard
seen
that nickname
before. We've never heard that nickname, right? But the idea that, yeah, that totally makes sense. And yeah, we hardly ever see Senjigahara because of that. Because that's personal stuff.
Yeah,
it's between me and Senjigahara, and you guys don't need to know about that, right? But, you know, here we're going to get an arc with her, and yet she maintains this presence throughout the show, even in Sengoku's arc of not even physically showing up and just making a call, and there you go.
Mic drop.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. It was quite a doozy here. And Monogatari, y'all. Mm-hmm. Next, arc, Hitagi End.
Hitagi End, which
what was it called? Koi Monogatari?
Yeah, Koi Monogatari.
Okay.
But like Hitagi End, it's still the second season, right? Or is this like the transition to the third season or something? I don't know. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below or our Patreon. You can get on early access there, and any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can talk with Jacob about the novel that he wrote. Yes, so I wrote a sci-fi novel. It's called Battle Lines. It's great. It's character-focused and all that jazz. It's available on Amazon in both hardback and ebook. So, link in the description. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.